In the last part, we discussed the true power of the green, blue and red Precursor stones. But what about yellow eco? I'm Ninja-ONC.
And I'm Samyers0616.
And this is the series with theories.
I have spent my life searching for the answers that my father and my father's fathers failed to find.
In the last part, which I definitely recommend checking out before you watch this video, I discussed the true power of the green stone and spoke about how, on a similar note, blue and red stones exist, but then someone, Mr. Samyers, pointed out a yellow stone, and the fact that yellow eco must exist, because, you know, the 4 ecotypes. And then, when we put our minds to it, and we started thinking about it, we discovered a dark truth behind Mars' involvement with the Metalhead War.
To do this, we first had to find a yellow stone somewhere in the games. After some intense searching, we found not 1, not 2, but 3. The main one, the one we built the theory around, was the main antagonist of Jak 3, Count Vigor, and his staff, bearing a big shiny yellow stone. Now, the big question on everyone's mind, or at least maybe 2 people's minds, is how did Vegan get his hands on the Yellowstone?
This is where Mar comes in. Vigor's Yellowstone wasn't seen until he was introduced, obviously, which was right after the opening of Mar's tomb in Jak 2. As we said in part 1, Mar's redstone probably came directly from the Precursors, and the greenstone was created by the Precursors to help Mar's descendants. Therefore, we can begin to think that the Precursors would have given Mar the Yellowstone too. These 2 points seem directly linked to us. We reckon that Vigor's staff, or at least the stone on the staff, actually belonged to Mar, and the Count found them hidden inside the tomb when it was cracked open. Now, the most logical, highest IQ Rick and Morty watching viewers out there will probably have realised that since we made an entire video about the Yellowstone, we probably know a bit more than this. And don't worry, we do.
As we mentioned, there are more yellow stones. The one that a lot of you might not have noticed are the eyes of the Precursor robots. Since Skull and Maya's, and presumably all Precursor robots, are piloted from the head, we can assume that pilots look through the eyes. So they would be transparent, like a crystal, a yellow gem. So why is this relevant, I hear you asking? Well, when we fight Meager's mech, he doesn't pilot it from the inside. Instead, he waves his yellow stone-clad staff in its general direction. What if the staff, or the stone, had the ability to control things that contain other yellow shards?
So Count Vulgar can control the robot due to the power of the Yellowstone. Great, but we still haven't really spoken about Mar. The 3rd Yellowstone we found were the skulls of the Metalheads. I don't really know if you can count all of them as the 3rd, but the 3rd place that we found them were the Metalhead skulls. Bright glowing yellow gems. And the reason this was so important to our theory is that if Vigor can control things containing the Yellowstones, it could explain how he orchestrated the attack on Haven City right at the start of Jak 3 to force Jak to be exiled to the Wasteland. Interesting, huh? But didn't we say that Mar owned the stone originally? How does that work then?
The theory we developed about the Metalhead War is that Mar actually took shards of the Yellowstone gifted to him by the Precursors and put them into the Hora-Quan. We know that Mar put a lot of effort into protecting Haven City, but maybe he actually wanted to make the Metalheads his own warriors to guard it, aiming to use the staff's power to control them. One of the 3 Precursors we made at the end of Jak 3 also wielded the staff of the Yellow Stone. So maybe 2 were made, or the Precursors kept one similar to Mar in case he misused it, in case they needed to.
The theory that Mar actually used the Yellowstone in the staff to control something is actually backed up by what Vega says when he controls the robot that we previously mentioned. He says that he will control the Ancient Ones just as Mar did, and then he proceeds to control an Ancient One as Mar did. So as Mar did, being using the yellow stone to control the thing, and the yellow eyes glow and all of that. So I think that's pretty undeniable evidence that Mar actually used the yellow stone to control something. And the ancient ones could mean anything from that period of time. Maybe it wasn't ancient back when Mar was around, and we just call them ancient now because Mar's pretty ancient. But the metalheads, they were around then. They're pretty damn ancient. No one knows when they came from, but they were definitely around in Mar's time. Maybe they were just like the adolescent ones at that point, but now we call them the ancient ones. So that's pretty strong evidence that Mar controlled, or at least attempted to control the metalheads with the yellow stone in the staff. Somehow, Mar lost control over them, and the Metalhead War commenced, and we have a few ideas of how this could have happened. Firstly, Mar could have hidden the staff, realising the danger of the power that he had created within the staff. This would have stripped Mar of his ability to control the Metalheads, and then they could have gone rogue and attacked, maybe getting revenge, or just unleashing their natural predatorial instincts. Alternatively, Kor, the Metalhead leader, could have somehow overthrown his command and led the Metalhead army into a revolution against Mar, hence beginning the war against Haven City.
Either way, having seen the true power of the Hora-Quan, Mar hid the staff, not wanting any one person to have such a power in their control. This is how it got hidden deep within the tomb of Mar, where it is later discovered by Count Veggie.
One of the few links to the precursors that we encounter directly are the oracles. We don't really know much about them, but we can assume, given the massive one in the temple in Jak 3, they are pretty closely related to the precursors, maybe acting as a mouthpiece. And in Jak 2, you can trade Metalhead skulls for special powers. The oracle says that the Hora-Quan are its enemies, and this obviously means that the precursors want to end the threat of the Metalheads. But maybe we didn't quite understand why. Originally, people might have thought that the precursors or the oracle were just testing Jak and Jak's ability to dispatch of the Metalheads, or that they were trying to help Haven City, or just, I don't know, maybe they wanted some more yellow gems in their collection, even though according to our theory they could have just created some more. But once you kill a Metalhead for the first time, you take its skull, but more Metalheads will still appear, only these don't have the skull. Killing these won't grant any more rewards from the oracle, so it's clear that the skulls are important, not actually the creatures. The precursors don't want you to kill the Hora-Quan, they don't want you to kill the Metalheads, they only want their skulls.
This means that, according to our theory, the precursors had predicted a Metalhead attack like the one that at the start of Jak 3 that would be orchestrated by an evil person. To counter this, they wanted Jak to remove the yellow jump charge from the creatures, preventing them from being attacked. Unfortunately, Jak wasn't entirely successful, and there were still hundreds, if not thousands, of Metalheads, still with the stones inside of them hidden somewhere.
So let's recap what we've done in this video then. We've proven, or at least theorised, about the existence of the Yellowstone to complete the Precursor Stone collection. We've explained the cause of the Metalhead War, and Mar's shocking and dark secret, and the reason he was so involved in that war, as well as explaining the source of Count Wiener's power. So, Samyers, we had to do this entire video all because of what you said at the end of part 1. And are you happy with the result now? Because you better bloody be, alright?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the result. It had some pretty solid evidence.
So, what if we brought all 4 stones together? Would that make light eco? And if that's how light eco is made, then what about dark eco?
Ah, god damn it, Keith. I guess we have to make a part 3 now. So, thanks to everyone who watched all the way through part 1 and part 2. If you only watched 1, that's cool. If you watched both, that's even better, because that means you actually understand what's going on now. Make sure to subscribe to this channel to get notified as soon as we release part 3, and subscribe to Samyers0616. His channel should be linked in the description as long as I remember to do it. There's probably going to be a card on the screen as well, because that's a feature that YouTube have now. And I look forward to seeing you all in part 3. Peace.